My beloved brothers and sisters, every person reaches moments in life where the heart feels heavy and the path feels unclear. Problems come one after another. Plans fail, and sometimes you quietly ask yourself why everything feels so hard. In these moments, Shaitan makes you feel abandoned, as if your struggles mean Allah has turned away from you. But the believer understands something deeper. Difficulty is not a sign of Allah's distance. Often it is a sign of His attention. Allah sees the tear you hide, the worry you carry, and the patience you try to maintain. He does not promise a life without hardship, but He promises that you are never alone in it. When you turn to Him in your weakness, you discover a strength you never had before. Hardship is part of every life. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest causes of sadness is the belief that life was supposed to be easy. When difficulties appear, a person feels something is wrong with them or that Allah is displeased with them. But Allah never promised a life without hardship. From the beginning of humanity, every prophet and every righteous person experienced struggle. Pain is not a sign of failure. It is part of the journey of living in this world. The believer understands that dunya was created as a place of test, not a place of permanent comfort. When you accept this truth, your heart stops asking, why me, and begins asking, how should I respond? This change brings calmness. You realize hardship is not punishment by default. Often it is preparation, growth, and protection. You cannot yet see. Look at your own life carefully. The moments that shaped you the most were not the easiest days. They were the days you cried, waited, and endured. Through difficulty, you learned patience, empathy, and reliance on Allah. If life contained only comfort, your heart would become attached to the world and forget its creator. Hardship gently pulls your attention back to Allah. When everything goes well, you may forget to make sincere dua. But when you struggle, you speak to Him honestly. In those sincere moments, your relationship with Allah deepens. What you see as a burden may actually be a bridge. Sometimes the difficulty is emotional rather than physical. You may feel lonely even among people. Plans fail despite effort. Doors close without explanation. These moments hurt deeply because they confuse you. Yet Allah sees beyond what you see. A closed door may be protection from harm you cannot imagine. A delay may be mercy. The believer trusts that Allah's wisdom is greater than immediate understanding. Acceptance does not remove sadness completely, but it removes despair. You still feel pain, but you feel hope with it. Do not compare your life with others. You see their smiles, but not their private struggles. Every person carries a test suited to them. Wealth, health, relationships, and time are all different forms of examination. What appears easy for someone may be their trial, and what is difficult for you may raise your rank. Allah distributes tests with perfect knowledge. When you stop comparing, you stop feeling unfairly treated. You begin focusing on patience instead of jealousy. Hardship also teaches humility. It reminds you that you need Allah constantly. When you rely only on your own strength, you become anxious because you cannot control everything. But when you rely on Allah, your heart rests. You understand that effort is yours, but outcome is His. This trust reduces fear. You still work and try, but you no longer carry the burden alone. During trials, Shaitan whispers that Allah has abandoned you. This is his greatest lie. Allah is closer to you in hardship than in comfort. He hears every silent prayer and every sigh. Sometimes the difficulty itself is a way of drawing you nearer to Him. When you raise your hand sincerely after long neglect, that moment is beloved to Allah. Your struggle brought you back to Him. Be patient with yourself during difficult days. Faith does not mean you never feel sad. Even the prophets felt grief. Patience means you continue trusting Allah while feeling pain. You do not give up worship and you do not lose hope. You allow your tears but keep your faith. This balance strengthens the heart. Allah rewards not only your endurance but your effort to remain hopeful. Over time, you will notice that some hardships change you for the better. You become kinder to others because you understand pain. You become grateful for small blessings because you experienced loss. Your priorities shift from temporary things to meaningful ones. Hardship refines your character gently. Allah shapes hearts through experience. Relief often comes in ways you did not expect. A new path opens, a worry fades, or your heart simply becomes stronger. Sometimes the situation changes, and sometimes you change. Either way, Allah grants ease. The believer learns that difficulty is never permanent. Every trial has a time limit known to Allah alone. Remember always, hardship is part of life, but loneliness is not. Allah remains with the one who remembers Him. When you turn to Him sincerely, your burden becomes lighter. You may still walk through a storm, but you walk with guidance and hope. Hold firmly to faith, and you will discover that even difficult days carry hidden mercy. Patience brings you closer to Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, patience is one of the greatest qualities a believer can develop. When life becomes heavy, the natural reaction is frustration or complaint. Yet Allah teaches that patience is not weakness. It is strength of the heart. Patience means you continue trusting Allah even when you do not understand His plan. You may feel hurt, confused, or tired, but you do not turn away from Him. Instead, you turn toward Him more. This turning brings you closer to Allah than easy days ever could. Many people think patience means doing nothing, but that is not correct. Patience means you keep trying while keeping your faith calm. You make effort, you seek solutions, and you ask Allah for help, but you do not lose hope. You accept that outcomes are in His control. This balance protects your mind from panic. When you trust Allah's wisdom, anxiety reduces. Your heart rests because you know someone greater than you is managing your affairs. Sometimes patience is required in waiting. You make dua for something important, yet the answer does not come quickly. Days pass and you feel forgotten. In reality, Allah hears every word. Delay does not mean rejection. It may mean preparation, protection, or a better timing. While you wait, your relationship with Allah grows. You speak to Him more sincerely. Waiting becomes worship when filled with trust. At other times, patience is needed. In pain, illness, loss, or emotional hurt may enter your life suddenly. You feel helpless. In those moments, patience means you do not abandon your faith. You continue praying, even through tears. You say words of remembrance even when your heart feels weak. Allah sees your effort. Your pain does not distance you from Him. It brings you nearer. Patience also appears in controlling anger. When someone hurts you, the first urge is reaction. Yet holding back for Allah's sake is powerful. Silence at the right moment protects your peace. Forgiving someone for Allah purifies your heart. The believer who restrains anger earns closeness to Allah because they chose His pleasure over ego. During hardship, Shaitan whispers negative thoughts. He tells you nothing will improve and that your prayers do not matter. Patience rejects these whispers. You remind yourself that Allah is merciful and wise. Even without seeing results, you continue believing. This belief strengthens your iman. Faith grows strongest in moments of uncertainty. Patience also brings clarity. When emotions calm, you think better. Decisions become wiser because you are not reacting out of panic. Allah places light in a patient heart. You begin noticing lessons in experiences. Instead of asking only why hardship happened, you learn what it is teaching you. With patience comes emotional healing. You stop replaying pain constantly. You release control over what you cannot change. Trust replaces tension. You may still feel sadness, but it does not consume you. Your heart learns to lean on Allah rather than on circumstances. Patience increases gratitude as well. Difficult days make you appreciate small blessings. A peaceful moment, a kind word, or a healthy day becomes meaningful. Gratitude and patience grow together. A believer who practices both finds contentment. Patience is also needed in leaving sin. Changing habits takes time. You may struggle repeatedly. Continue trying and asking Allah for strength. Each attempt counts. Allah loves effort. Over time, the struggle becomes easier. The patient believer succeeds gradually. Encourage yourself with remembrance during trials. Saying simple words of calms the heart. These words remind you that Allah is near. Remembrance strengthens patience because it keeps your focus on Him rather than the problem. Patience improves relationships too. When you respond gently during tension, conflicts reduce. Others feel safe around you. Your character becomes a source of comfort. Allah places respect in the patient person's presence. Relief always follows patience. Though its form may differ from your expectations, sometimes the situation changes, sometimes your heart changes. Either way, Allah grants ease. The believer learns that no hardship lasts forever. Continue asking Allah to grant you patience. It is a gift from Him. The more you seek it, the more He helps you develop it. Patience is learned through experience and strengthened through faith. Hold firmly to patience and you will feel closeness to Allah growing. Your worries become lighter and your hope stronger. The one who remains patient discovers that hardship becomes a path to mercy, and through it the heart finds peace with its Creator. Tests purify the heart. My beloved brothers and sisters, when a difficulty enters your life, your first feeling is often pain and confusion. You wonder why it happened and what you did wrong. But not every hardship is a punishment. Many times it is purification. Just as water cleans the body, tests clean the heart. Allah removes hidden weaknesses through trials. Pride, attachment, and heedlessness slowly leave you when you face challenges. What feels heavy at first becomes a means of mercy. The believer understands that Allah does not harm without purpose. He refines you so your heart becomes sincere and closer to Him. During easy days, a person can become distracted. Comfort makes you feel independent, as if you control your life completely. When a test appears, that illusion breaks. You realize how much you need Allah. This awareness is purification. You begin making sincere dua again. You remember Allah not only in routine but in urgency. The heart that was asleep becomes awake. Tests bring humility, and humility brings closeness to Allah. Sometimes the test is emotional. You feel loneliness even among people. You feel misunderstood and tired inside. In those moments you speak to Allah honestly. Your dua becomes real, not just memorized words. Tears in private are valuable. Allah sees what no one else sees. Your hidden patience becomes a source of reward. A purified heart speaks to Allah without pretending strength. Other tests are loss. Losing something dear hurts deeply. Yet through loss, you learn that nothing in this world is permanent. You release attachment slowly and depend on Allah instead. The heart that once clung to people or possessions begins clinging to its Creator. This shift is purification. You discover stability not in things but in faith. Illness also purifies. Physical weakness reminds you of your human limits. You slow down and reflect. You become grateful for simple blessings like movement and breath. Gratitude grows when comfort decreases. Allah erases sins through hardship and raises your rank. A believer who remains patient during illness gains closeness to Allah. Trials also remove arrogance. Success sometimes makes a person proud without noticing. A test gently returns humility. You understand that strength and ability are gifts, not guarantees. You treat others more kindly because you recognize shared weakness. Purification improves character as well as faith. During hardship, your priorities change. You care less about impressing people and more about pleasing Allah. This is a clean heart forming. You focus on sincere worship instead of appearance. Purification removes showing off and replaces it with honesty. Allah loves the servant whose heart is genuine. You may not see wisdom immediately. Some tests take time to understand. Later you look back and realize how they changed you. You became more patient, forgiving, and grateful. What once felt unbearable became a turning point. Allah knew the benefit before you did. Do not think purification means absence of sadness. You may still feel hurt. Even prophets felt grief. Purification means you carry pain with faith. You cry, but you trust. Your sadness does not remove your hope. This balance strengthens your heart. Keep turning to Allah during trials. Speak to Him often. Ask for strength and acceptance. Continuous connection helps you grow. Without remembrance, hardship feels empty. With remembrance, hardship gains meaning. Meaning makes endurance easier. Tests also teach empathy. After your struggle, you understand others better. You comfort people sincerely because you experience similar pain. Allah uses your hardship to help others. Your patience becomes mercy for someone else. Avoid thinking you are being singled out unfairly. Every person faces a test suited to them. Wealth, health, family, and time are all examinations. Allah chooses what benefits you spiritually. Trust His wisdom even when you do not see it. Relief eventually arrives. Sometimes circumstances improve. Sometimes your heart becomes stronger. Either way, Allah grants ease. You recognize growth within yourself. The purified heart feels calm even before external change. Continue thanking Allah in both ease and difficulty. Gratitude protects the purity you gain. Remember how the test brought you closer. Gratitude keeps you humble and hopeful. Tests purify the heart and prepare it for closeness to Allah. Through hardship, your faith becomes sincere. You learn reliance and patience. What once seemed painful becomes meaningful. The believer who understands this walks through trials with hope, knowing Allah is shaping their heart for peace and mercy. Dua gives strength in weak moments. My beloved brothers and sisters, every person reaches moments when their strength feels finished. You try to remain patient, yet your heart becomes tired. In those moments, Allah gave you a direct connection. Dua supplication is not only for emergencies, it is a source of strength. When you raise your hands, you are not speaking into emptiness. You are speaking to the one who controls every outcome. This awareness alone brings calmness. Even before a situation changes, your heart feels supported. A believer becomes strong, not because life is easy, but because they know where to turn when it is hard. Sometimes you cannot explain your pain to people. You fear being misunderstood or judged. Dua gives you a private space where honesty is safe. You can speak freely to Allah about fears, sadness, and confusion. He already knows your feelings, yet He loves hearing them from you. This expression releases pressure from the heart.